Namaskar, Vanakkam. My name is Sudhir Sahasranaman and you're watching Win with Sudhir here on this particular channel. We are going to be doing CBSE Class 9 English, Science and Social Science. This particular video is going to be about this poem called The Canvas of Soil from Kaveri Textbook. This is poem number 3. So, this is going to be your one-stop shop. If you want to understand in simple English, detailed explanation, this is your channel for science, social science and English. Okay, so that students don't really need to kind of listen to Hindi videos even while not understanding it properly. And this will actually help you because it will make it easy for you to write your answers when you understand it in English. The same words come in the examination. Otherwise, you will be thinking in Hindi, translating it into English and then writing the English, and there in between your grammar will go wrong, your expression will go wrong, your spellings will go wrong. Okay, so just in case, if you are looking to buy the question bank for class 9 for all subjects from maths, Hindi, science, social science or English, we are recommending Oswald Books question bank. And if you buy it on the oswaldbooks.com website, you can use my author coupon code, which is Sudhir10, because I have written 3 books for Oswald Books. So they give me this author coupon code, which my students can use in order to get an additional discount. Okay. Or if you want to buy it on Amazon, the link is given in the description box. You can use that in order to buy it on Amazon as well. Okay. So let's get started with this particular poem. What exactly is this poem about? Let's understand what exactly is the poet trying to say in this poem. It is a celebration. The poem is actually a celebration. You can say poem or you can say poem. Okay. It's a celebration of the intersection, which means where nature and human labor come together. Nature and human labor come together. So they are intersecting, right? So it's an intersection. It reframes, means it again kind of redefines. Okay, there is a definition, but you kind of once again you force it to take a second look. It redefines the act of gardening. Otherwise we see a gardener and we think, hey, what is that gardener doing? Nothing. But you take a closer look at what the gardener is doing and you realize he's doing something extremely creative, extremely important and significant. He's like an artist who is creating the space for flowers to bloom, for the butterflies to come, for new life to come, oxygen to be released into the atmosphere. So he's like an artistic creator, right? Endeavor means an effort. Endeavor is another word. Actually, you should use a U also, because the problem is with American, they do not use the U in most of the things. Like even in labor, they will not use U. So endeavor should be ENDEAVOUR. That is the British spelling. Comparing the soil to a canvas. Now, canvas is what? Now, when you do a painting, right? You have a cardboard, right? On which you paint. That is called the canvas, right? So he's comparing, the poet is comparing the soil to a canvas where the gardener is behaving like an artist and doing his creative artistic work. And the plants to paint. The plants are the paint. So please understand the different comparisons being made. It highlights the patience, care, and creative vision required to turn a patch of earth into a living work of art. So that is what this poem is all about how with a lot of patience, time, caregiving, creativity, you just given a patch of soil. There you use your art like a painter in order to create an artistic work. You create a living work of art. Living because the plants are living organisms. You get the point? So it's like this. It's like the painter, right? Using the seed and the seed comes out. We have studied all this in biology in class 6, 7 and 8. And it comes out and it becomes beautiful. It's like a beautiful canvas. Is it absolutely clear? Great. Let's move ahead. I hope you enjoy this because that's going to be my main idea. You got to enjoy what you are doing. You should not think like, "Arey yaar, ek video dekhna hai." No, you should say, I'm going to see this video. I'm going to learn something new today. So this particular lady is the poet of this particular poem. What is she doing? Maya Anthony is a writer known for her nature-inspired poetry. Her work often focuses on themes of growth, the quiet beauty of the natural world and the connection between humans and the earth. Her writing style is lyrical. There is a lyrical quality in the sense that it's almost like, moves very beautifully, right? And observant. She sees and observes very closely, inviting readers to find meaning in the routine acts of daily life, which is why I said you will look at a gardener and you'll think, what is this? You'll not even take a second look, but take a second look and you will realize that person is actually an artist, right? So that's what about this poet, just to give you an idea. Now let's go to line by line explanation of stanza 1. Now you see, this is the what is called the palette. If you have seen any artist, they would hold it in their hand with a brush, right? And they would have different colors in different, these are all, there will be small holes on that palette. Okay, so you would kind of use the brush to pick up whichever color. Otherwise, every time you will not open a bottle, right? So you will have blue, different shades of blue, different shades of green, different shades of red, yellow, white. So that if you want yellow, you will take yellow. If you want green, you will take green. So you will be able to take different colors. So the first two lines are palette of earth, rich and deep, where dreams of gardeners seep. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you each and every word, each and every line, and the overall meaning of the stanza. Okay, you are not, I can assure you this, you are not going to get anything better than this anywhere on the internet. So the poet introduces the garden as a palette, the surface of an artist which is used to mix colors. This is what is called the palette. You can use palette or palette also is another pronunciation. The earth is described as rich and deep. The earth is described as rich and deep. What does it mean? It is emphasizing the life-sustaining potential of fertile soil, because the soil is deep and it is rich because it can actually produce life, right? So that is the meaning of the phrase rich and deep being used for earth. Where dreams of gardeners seep. Now, this suggests that a garden begins as an abstract idea. What is the meaning of an abstract idea? Something which is not very clear. You see something, for example, you are just given a wall, okay, and the person tells you, you can paint it and decorate it in any way you want, right? It's up to you. You use your creativity. You behave like an artist. So you will see the wall. The wall is an abstract idea. At the beginning, you do not know what will happen, but the ideas are framing in your mind. So the earth is like that, the garden earth is like that abstract idea or hope in the mind of the gardener. Only the gardener, or you, if you are an artist, you will have an idea that I will make a rainbow out here. Here I will make the ocean. Here I will make some birds flying in the sky. It is your mind where the ideas are taking shape, right? Similarly, when you see a patch of soil, in the mind of the gardener, the ideas begin to take shape, right? Which then slowly seeps or settles into the ground. Now, why the word seeps has been used here? Now, seep is generally a word which you associate with water. The water is seeping inside here, right? Oh, there is some seepage. You know the word seepage, which you must have heard at your home. Oh, in the washroom wall, there is a bit of a seepage. So something must have broken, some pipe must have broken, and as a result of which the water is seeping into the wall. So seep is a word which you necessarily always associate with water, right? So seep is a word usually used for water. So here the idea or the dream of the gardener also seeps slowly like water. So that is the sense in which this particular word has been used. Clear? Now the next two lines of stanza 2. Brush strokes of seeds planted true, awaiting spring's vibrant hue. Okay, I hope you have a notebook and you're writing everything which I've written here. It's not too much of material. You can very easily write it down. Okay, brush strokes of seeds planted true. What does it mean? The act of sowing the seeds, beej ko bone ka, the act of sowing the seeds is likened to deliberate brush strokes. Brush strokes are what a painter uses, right? So it is like, it's a very deliberate act, because unless you put the seed inside the soil, you are not going to get a new fresh plant, right? Planted true implies care, precision, and honesty in the labor. Planted true, he's doing a very honest and a sincere job. Awaiting spring's vibrant hue. Now, what does it mean? You are waiting for the spring season, because the spring season is when you actually see the plants and the trees and the flowers in full bloom, right? So there is a sense of anticipation. Anticipation means waiting, right? And waiting eagerly, right? The gardener does the work but waits for nature. Spring means the nature to provide the color, because unless you get support from the nature, how do you get support from the nature? You need to have the sunshine, right? You need to have the sunshine, you need to have the rain, right? You need to have the right kind of temperature in order for the plants to bloom. So the spring word is conveying the help provided by nature. Okay, let's now move to stanza 2. Blossoms bloom, a painted side dancing in the morning light. So you see all these flowers, they're all dancing and singing. There is music in the air. So blossoms bloom, a painted side. The result of the labor that is put in by the gardener is now visible. He put the seed, he may have watered it, and he may have created the right environment for the garden to bloom. But unless, and then the mother nature would have supported him, and now the result of all that labor is visible. The flowers are the paint on the canvas of the earth. So the canvas which was brown earlier in the form of the soil, now the flowers have come up and they are like the different colors, the blue, the red, the pink, the yellow, the green, everything, right? The green leaves, everything is now different colors like the paint on the canvas. Dancing in the morning light, personification. Now the literary device, the poetic device of personification has been used here. The flowers move with the wind, giving the garden a lively quality. Dancing in the morning light. So dancing is a human quality, right? The humans dance, right? So now he's saying the flowers are dancing in the morning light, right? So a human quality, when it is given to another non-human, it means the poetic device of personification, right? So that is what has been done. The flowers move with the wind. So when the wind moves, the flowers also move, and they give the garden as though the garden is full of life, because the flowers are so happy. That's why they are dancing in the wind. Shades of green, red and blue, nature's artwork ever new. So shades of green, red and blue, a simple direct observation of the colors of the garden. So these are the different colors of the leaves, the flowers, the stem, everything, right? Nature's artwork ever new. The garden is dynamic. It is never the same from one day to the next, making it a living, changing masterpiece. So why it is nature's artwork ever new? Because every day it changes. Suppose there is harsh sunshine the one day, you would find that some of the flowers have actually wilted. But another day when it rains, they are once again blooming with new colors. So every day the canvas is actually changing. The paints are actually changing because different kinds of nature elements are influencing the look and feel of the garden, which is why nature's artwork every day, it's almost as if it is looking a little new. Okay. Stanza 3. Each plot a canvas wide where art and life coincide. So the poet returns to the central metaphor, which is every section of the garden is a potential space for creation. Each plot of the garden is a canvas which is very wide. You can do any kind of creativity. I may do one kind of gardening. You may do another kind of gardening. Someone else may do a different kind of gardening. So it is everything. It is a canvas which is very wide for anyone, right? Where art and life coincide. This summarizes the poem's philosophy. The creative expression of art and the biological reality of life, that is growth, happens simultaneously. So there is art, there is also life taking place, where art and life come together. In the hands of those who till, gardens become paintings still. Now, she respects and honors the gardener, those who till. Till is a word generally used for the farmer, in this case for the gardener, because he's also working on the same soil, right? He's the artist. She's respecting him. She's honoring him by saying that in the hands of those who till, gardens become paintings still. So in the hands of those who work on the soil, the gardens actually become paintings which are still. The word still has a double meaning here. Please remember both meanings. It implies that the garden is a still life painting, but also that it remains a painting forever, even when the work is quiet, right? Like, for example, he worked in the daytime, 6 o'clock he will go home, but 6 o'clock till the morning when he comes back, it will still be having a life of its own. It does not disappear. It stays there, right? So that's what is the meaning of still, right? It is still also in the sense that it is a finished composition that you can observe and appreciate, just like a canvas hanging in a gallery. So after it is gone also, you can come at 8 o'clock in the night and still appreciate the garden that has been created, right? So it remains there permanently, almost like a painting which is hung in an art gallery. Now, what are the themes of this particular poem? The first theme is artistry in nature. The poem elevates manual labor, that is because it's a lot of manual labor, right? There's no machine really used, right? To the status of fine art. It is like an artist's creation. The second theme is a cycle of life. It reflects the patience required to work with nature, from the seed, from the dream of the seed to the bloom of the flower. Please, when you're writing your answers, write whatever words which have been used in the poem in double quotes, because they will be the keywords, and it will show to your teacher that you are very familiar, you have read the poem multiple times, you have read the story multiple times, and it shows a familiarity with the text. So it's always very important to use keywords from the poem, from the story, from the essay in your answers, right? Then the third theme of human nature connection, it emphasizes that gardens are a collaborative effort. You collaborate, you come together, you work together between the human and natural forces. You need the benevolence, you need the help of Mother Nature also. Benevolence means support, okay, kind support, and you need to put in the effort yourself also, right? So it is a combined collaborative effort. Then, which are the different poetic devices which have been used? The first one is an extended metaphor, because the entire poem acts as an extended metaphor, comparing a garden to a painting. Throughout the poem, that's what we saw, right? Soil to canvas and seeds to brush strokes, right? And the flowers to paint, right? So it is, all these things are a metaphors which is there throughout the poem. Then, for example, let me just show you this beautiful painting which my wife's cousin made. Look at something like this. Now she lives in Madurai, I think, and look at the kind of strokes are there. Look at the way the colors have been used. So that is what is called artistry. Then personification, describing flowers as dancing, what I pointed out, adds life and movement to the static image of a garden. Then imagery, words like rich, vibrant, green. See, everything I put as double quotes. Red, blue. They create vivid visual snapshots for the reader. It gives you a sense of visual imagery. 1 second. Then let's look at the rhyme scheme. The poem follows a consistent AABB rhyme scheme for each stanza. For example, in stanza 1, deep, seep, true, hue. Stanza 2, sight, light, blue hue. This is the last word of every sentence. Blue, new. Wide, coincide, till, still. So this is the AABB rhyme scheme. It's very deliberate, because when you give it a structure, predictable rhyme scheme, it kind of shows the steady rhythmic nature of gardening itself, that it has some kind of a pattern to it. So that is what is being shown. Even in this, look at the way paintings have been used to highlight and illustrate our channel's name. Our channel's name. It's your channel as much as my channel. So just to remind you once again, this is about the question bank. Take a screenshot so that you don't forget. Save some money for your parents. Okay, hard-earned money. Or you can follow the link to go to Amazon, which is given in the description box. Go through that link and use this particular coupon code. This is for Oswald books, not for Amazon. So don't get confused. So like, share, subscribe, hype to Win with Sudhir YouTube channel for all videos, explanation videos in simple English for English, science and social science for CBSE class 9 and 10. The question and answers I will do in a separate video. Tata, bye bye. Thank you very much. Namaskar. God bless you.